this whole harness situation. Oh, look at that neck string.
Like a chicken.
Woo! Okay, I've gotten a lot of questions about how I do this carrier with the breastfeeding, so I put her in there and I pop it over on my side, on my hip.
You gotta make it a little bit looser than it usually would be, so she's got space. And then,
Yeah, I mean you can, and then you can tighten it back up if you need it. So I'm gonna open my nursing bra.
This thing's come in handy quite a few times.
I'm gonna put this strap on the side of my boob. She's getting mad.
Okay, hey guys, welcome to breastfeeding Q&A.
Yes. Okay. We have a lot of good information for you guys. Very helpful. Lots of tips and tricks. Lots of facts. We have a lot of experience between the two of us. And obviously, if any of you are wondering why Cody's in this video, it's because
I've been about as involved in the whole breastfeeding experience as a man can be. I know probably more about women's breasts than I should. I don't know. Probably go be a lactation consultant somewhere if I needed to be, but
yeah, after you got the certification.
After I got certified, yeah, but
you don't want to do that.
No, I know.
No.
I just,
no. You get to the point where you'd see so many boobs.
It's like you wouldn't even like them anymore.
We're super duper excited because today's video is sponsored and we are obsessed with the company. The company's name is Haakaa. They're based out of New Zealand, but they also have an Amazon storefront, which is actually where I found them. So I found this product before they wanted to collaborate with us, and I have to be completely honest, after I show you guys the products, you'll know why. Like, I get to show you guys some super cool things, but this product is actually like so legit and it's so useful.
Because a lot of times whenever I would see you like leaking as you were feeding her on the opposite breast, I would be like, that's just a lot of milk going to waste.
For those of you who are currently breastfeeding or you've breastfed in the past before, when your milk supply is getting established, you leak a lot. And then also whenever your baby starts nursing on your left breast, you start to let down on the other breast. So this first one is called the Ladybug. It's a silicone letdown catcher. It is freaking incredible. What's so cool about these is they come in a couple different sizes. So for some of you that are super heavy milk producers, you can get like bigger sizes. But I'll show you guys how I use these whenever I breastfeed her. So I'll just pop one of them in my nursing bra while she's nursing on the other breast, and it will catch my letdown.
It's really cool because you actually like can suction it onto the nipple, so and it stays in place underneath the bra.
Push it in like that, and then when you release it, it creates the suction on your breast.
And while she's feeding on that side, you're able to get like an ounce in the ladybug.
I usually get at least an ounce.
At least an ounce in the ladybug that we can put into a bottle.
Which is freaking
later.
Amazing because right now she eats anywhere from 2 to 4 ounces of milk. So hello freedom. You know, if you need to like get out of the house for a little bit sometimes or go to the gym or whatever, then this guy can.
We got like a pretty good supply going on, like a stash in the fridge, and that thing's been pretty helpful with it. So.
This thing is freaking incredible, okay? First time that I used this, I was blown away. I do have a couple different electric breast pumps, so those obviously come in handy. But this honestly is so affordable and could replace the electric pump like altogether. It really could. Essentially do the same thing as you put it on your breast and you squeeze, so when you release it, well, it creates the suction. And my milk just started like spraying, like it was just a constant spraying stream. This is just nice to have too, like sometimes like in the middle of the night when she nurses, like she won't want to take the other breast because she gets like so tired, she just takes like a little nursing session on there. But I mean, it could help with engorgement whenever your milk supply is getting established, because there's been sometimes like I cannot wake her up to take like my right breast if she already took my left breast, but my right breast will be hard as a rock because it was hours since she nursed on it. Just have that, and what's cool, it has a suction cup on the bottom.
Yeah.
So it can suction onto your nightstand or your counter or your desk or whatever.
Spills.
Yeah. So I think this is probably one of the most important things to just address and get out of the way from the beginning. Is your nipples are going to hurt, they're going to be sore, and that's just the way that it goes. And now it shouldn't be like excruciating or super painful. If it is, then you definitely need to consult a lactation consultant or your doctor. I would recommend a lactation consultant because they're just more experienced with that. I mean, I will say that I cried in the beginning with nursing Isabel because nobody told me it was going to hurt and they were going to be sore. And the babies are going to be sucking on them all the time because of cluster feeding.
That was a big fail on like the whole breastfeeding class in the hospital. They just don't tell you that. They're just like,
nobody
it's
talks
just this,
about
it's
it,
just
and
the
they
best,
should.
and blah 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 blah. And they need to tell you in those education courses that like this is gonna hurt a lot.
I'm already like on the other side of that. It can take anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes a little bit longer, but not too much longer for your nipples to just essentially toughen up and get used to your baby nursing. And it happened all over again with Mia, so it doesn't matter if you've nursed 1, 2, or 3 babies, it's gonna hurt every time.
Yeah. With Isabel, you had pretty much even soreness on both nipples, but this time with Mia, you had one nipple that was
horrible. I talked a little bit about it on Instagram, but I got pretty much a nipple laceration on my right nipple. I got a bad latch in the hospital. Even as experienced as I am, it can still happen. You can still get a bad latch. They're so little when they're first born that they still have to learn how to suck properly. Even though the sucking is instinctual, they still have to learn how to properly put their tongue like over the top of their bottom gums to suck your nipple back into the back of their throat. It can happen where you can get a crack, and then that crack that I got turned into a laceration, and I mean, it was a deep cut in my nipple, and I was crying.
Yeah, that was a pretty gnarly cut. I felt pretty bad for you. But there was a period of time where her nipple was so damaged that she had to stop feeding her on it. She would pump the milk from the damaged nipple, and we saved that up, which actually helped us building up a stockpile for later on.
I was really scared and uncomfortable about it at first. They say that you're not supposed to start pumping or give your baby a bottle till around 4 to 6 weeks. Mia was 2 weeks, and I could not nurse her on my right breast like at all. I tried for days and it was excruciating. So that was the best thing that we could figure out to do, was to just pump my right breast for however many days it took, which it definitely did help relieve the pain a lot. It was still pretty uncomfortable, but it was a lot less. I wasn't crying. I could actually do that.
Allowed it to heal.
Only fed her off of my left breast.
Which you can do. Like you can supply enough milk to a baby.
Her nursing sessions were just a little bit longer. Yeah. So,
which is something that we've noticed has happened as she's gotten older. She gets stronger and better at nursing. So what used to be a 40-minute nursing session is now like 20 or maybe 30.
And she's already starting to get more on a routine with eating. We kind of know, like, she's starting to eat around the same times every day and for shorter amount of time. So it happens fast. So trust me, I know for those of you that are just starting out on your breastfeeding journey, it can be extremely overwhelming and you feel like you're just stop, drop, and boob all the time, and you can get done nursing and then 30 minutes to even 5 minutes later you have to nurse them all over again.
And it can feel like something's wrong, like you're not giving them enough or whatever, but it's their job to cluster feed essentially to make you produce more so that you can give them what they need. Well,
and whenever they're born, their stomachs are the size of a marble, so they really can't fit that much in them, but their metabolisms are extremely high. And your breast milk is filled with a lot of sugar. It's a lot of good sugar that they need, but it's highly digestible, so they just burn through it like immediately. They actually digest breast milk more efficiently and faster than formula. I mean, because it's what they're supposed to be eating is breast milk. So that's why when they're so little, when they're first born, they cluster a lot. That's also what we've seen statistically. One of the number one reasons why women quit breastfeeding is because of the discomfort in the beginning with the nipple soreness, or because they are scared that their baby's not getting enough breast milk because it seems like they're not satiated, but it's completely normal for them to cluster like that in the beginning.
And you're pretty much just you're a walking dairy farm for a while.
Cow or a food truck.
Yeah, you just gotta you are the boob. Be the boob.
Be the boob. Yeah, I've seen that question, that concern a lot from some of you guys that you're afraid that when you start back in the gym or you lower your calories that your milk supply is going to drop. It's really not the case. That's only going to happen if you are in an extreme deficit for too long, which I don't recommend at all. You obviously have to keep your calories up while you're breastfeeding, but exercising and eating healthy is not going to decrease your milk supply. It's going to increase your milk supply.
Especially if you're eating the right foods.
Yeah, the right foods. So that's something that you have to make sure you're doing. You need to be eating whole, clean foods consistently, enough meals a day, drinking a gallon or more of water, and working out consistently. It's just going to make you healthier, and your milk supply is going to reap the benefits of it. Whenever I was breastfeeding Isabel, we got really bad food poisoning from Thanksgiving one year. I couldn't really eat anything and barely even drink water for days, like up to a week, and I was still nursing her just fine. So don't be afraid about exercising, lowering your calories just a little bit. But if you don't know how you should go about exercise and your nutrition, we have created an incredible postpartum fitness guide. It's brand new, if you guys haven't seen it already. But you can just always, go to my website, www.hopeisabelhoward.com. You guys can check out my fitness guides on there, especially the postpartum one. And there's a huge section in there about breastfeeding and your nutrition. And there's meal plans in there, like meal templates, to help guide you and show you how you should be eating based upon your lifestyle to promote a healthy milk supply. Another really big thing that I want to say about my supplies, I've gotten a lot of questions from you guys about, cause, I've gotten I got my breast implants removed quite a while ago, and you wanted to know if I've noticed any difference in my milk supply versus when I had my implants, and it's been
crazy,
absolutely insane.
We never ever had like a stash of milk.
No, I was never able to have a stash. I never really leaked. When I would pump, when I was breastfeeding Isabel, it's like I would just barely get enough. I would just get enough. I was able to produce enough for her, but I just could never really build up a supply. And so I've done research on that, and what's really interesting is a lot of times when you have breast implants or like large implants, they can put too much pressure on the milk ducts and prevent your milk ducts from filling up as much as they need to. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty crazy because now whenever I pump, I can get like 5 ounces of milk, which is like more than Mia would even take in a feeding session or a nursing session. So now we're moving on to ways that Cody has been instrumental to this breastfeeding journey.
Whenever Isabel was born, neither of us really knew what was going on, like why she wouldn't get off of Hope's boobs, why it seemed like it was this never-ending,
especially at nighttime.
Yeah, off boob, on boob, off boob, on boob, or like, it was very confusing. What I would do whenever it was the nighttime feedings, I would get up, I would change Isabel's diaper, and then I would bring Isabel to Hope, and I wouldn't just like plop down in bed and fall asleep while she was nursing, because that wouldn't be fair that like I'm sleeping while she's not sleeping. So I would stay up and I would research and learn more about it so that we could be more educated and kind of like not be as confused. The same thing now with Mia, but I don't have to do as much research because we know what is going on. We're like more comfortable with the ebbs and flows of it. Whenever she has a fussy night and she's staying up all night and clustering, it's probably because she's going through a growth spurt or she's uncomfortable because of like she might not be feeling good or something like that. But so now it's not like, we're not like, what's going on? It's just like, this is how it is sometimes. But I still do it where I will wake up whenever Mia gets up, I change her diaper, I give her to Hope, keep track of the time for her, and then Hope tries to lay her down or I'll try to lay her down and repeat that cycle.
Another thing that you do that's really helpful is if I'm getting ready to go to the gym or leave the house for like an appointment or something, you'll get the pump ready for me. Mm-hmm. Like all the parts and the freezer bag and like all in the little pump carrying bag, which is like super nice. Or you'll clean it when I come home.
Yeah, and I'm in charge of like whenever milk's in the fridge, it gets frozen when it's time to, and making sure that none of it goes bad.
I also do most of the diapers too.
Well, yeah, I do. Yeah, 90% of the
All of them at
diapers.
nighttime, and a lot of them during the day.
Yeah, I try to help as much as I can because obviously Hope had to carry Mia for 10 months essentially, and then there's the after the thing, and then she's like sucking on her nipples all the time. So
Oh my goodness, I know.
try to make it as easy as possible.
I know, it's like, I mean, I really feel like I couldn't do it without him. I don't know how single parents do it, and it just, every time that we've gone through this, it just makes me have so much more, like, respect, and I'm just like, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how you guys do it.
So shout out to all you single parents out there,
I
because
know.
that shit's
Keeping
hard.
it down.
Yeah.
Nursing bras. You know what's funny? Is I have like 2 or 3 nursing bras that are more pricey. They're like $50 or more. From like the last time that I nursed Isabel, I think I got rid of like most of them, so I had to get new ones with Mia because I don't have my implants anymore. So I was like, I don't know what my breast size is gonna be. So I waited until after like the first week, because it can take like up to 7 days for your milk to fully come in, and then I knew like how big my breasts were gonna be. And I got all of my nursing bras from Amazon.
Amazon, man.
Amazon. So I will put the links for you guys. I got a lot of basic ones, just, you know, to wear like under your t-shirts and stuff like that. And then I just got some like really cute, pretty lacy ones that are like sexy, stylish, and all of them are extremely affordable. The lacy ones were a little bit more pricey, but still they're like half the price of those like expensive nursing bras. And what's crazy too is I will say that the ones I got from Amazon are actually more comfortable. Now we're gonna go into the Q&A portion, because I asked you guys on Instagram all of the questions that you want to know about breastfeeding, so we're gonna go ahead and answer those. This question is, what's your go-to snack that helps promote breast milk? There are so many things out there, like lactation cookies and bread.
Wow.
I think it's all gimmicky. It doesn't, you just eat whole clean food.
Yeah, it's just garbage, man.
You
Supplements are not the
I know
answer.
that you might want a cookie, but you don't need a cookie. Like, it's not, you don't need a cookie to help promote breast milk. Someone asked cluster feeding tips. I have a 2-week-old and I'm a first-time mom.
Oof.
Girl, I know how difficult it is right now for you, and I promise you there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm already like there. You know, it's not like we don't have our challenges still, that she doesn't cluster, but the best tips that I can give you is just get comfy. Know that I've noticed that with Isabel and Mia, a lot of times they just cluster at nighttime, like before bed. Like they want to kind of just load up on calories before they kind of have longer stretches of sleep. Sometimes babies do it in the middle of the day, and if you notice they're clustering, just grab a good book, you know, scroll through Instagram, put a movie on. We put movies on at night, and I just get comfy on the couch and have you guys bring me stuff if I need something. And if you need a break, like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, just take a boob break, because they're not going to starve, okay? So if you need to go take a shower or just have a few minutes to yourself, just do it. Go on a short little walk. That's the best advice I can give you. But you have to just keep nursing on demand, because they're, you know, they're signaling to your body that you need to produce more milk for them, because they're going through a growth spurt, and it's just going to help establish your milk supply. Yeah. So I see a lot of questions from people asking how long I breastfed Isabel. I breastfed her for 2 years, and I plan on doing the same for Mia. Okay, so another question is, do you give her formula milk or only breast milk? So they're asking if we supplement. No, she's exclusively breastfed. We don't even mess around with formula. We're just pretty anti-formula. Honestly, like in our house
we're passionately against it, but I don't think we can express that with as much emotion as we truly have about it. But we'll just say no.
We'll say that supplementing with formula can harm your milk supply, so it's just not a good idea to do that unless your baby is having a hard time gaining weight because for some reason you have a health condition and your breast milk supply is down and your doctor is telling you to do that. So I definitely don't want to tell you to go against what your doctor tells you, because I know there are some instances where you need to get food, but there is donor milk too, though. You could look at doctor can write you a prescription for breast milk, and there are, I guess, breast milk banks
out there,
where they donate.
I would say that formula is probably like a last resort.
I got a lot of questions about pumping, like what my schedule is like with that and everything. Because I work from home, I usually only pump once a day, and that's when I go to the gym. So what that'll look like is I try to nurse her like pretty close to when right before I leave for the gym, and that gives me like a solid 3 hours.
Yeah.
So then I can just kind of I get out of the house, I go work out, and then come home and then pump. So that way, around the middle of my workout, Cody's giving her the bottle with my breast milk, and then it gives me enough time to when I come home, take a shower, and then sit down and pump. And then I get ready, and I think like it's like 30 minutes to an hour after all that, like she's ready to nurse again. So yeah, it's usually just once a day, but I'm sure there will be some days soon where I might be gone for longer and I have to pump like twice. Miss Danielle asked if we think having a glider / rocker is important, like in the nursery or whatever.
We don't have one.
We have no, we just have a chair.
Yeah.
Honestly, I never use it, and I never got one when I had Isabel. I was just always on the couch, and I would like put pillows around me. I don't use nursing pillows. I bought a nursing pillow like with Isabel, and I realized like I could have just used a couch pillow or like pillows from my bed. If you want one, then get one. You know, it's a personal choice, really. I think, but I've found that there are chairs in our living room and then on the couch where I can just set myself up so much more comfortably that I don't really need to buy a nursing pillow. And the glider and rocker, I mean, they're really pretty, and for aesthetics, like they look great in the nursery. I feel like until they're sleeping through the night and you're really just like, they have an established bedtime, so you bring them in their room and then you can sit in the chair and relax and nurse them, and then you put them in their crib to bed. But even the chair that we have in Mia's nursery, it's not a glider or a rocker. I think they're overpriced. That they take advantage of people for
they can charge you whatever they want for baby stuff, because they'll be like, well, no, we know
it's the
you're
same.
gonna
It's
buy
like with wedding things. It's like if it's wedding related or it's baby related, they're gonna upcharge it because
you're gonna buy it.
So someone asks, do you ever indulge in drinking alcohol while breastfeeding? In the breastfeeding class that we took at the hospital and through the research that we've done, medical professionals, well, the nurse and this is exactly what she said. She said that drinking, like if you have a glass of wine or like one drink, and then nurse afterwards, it's like throwing a shot glass or throwing a shot in a swimming pool. So you just really, the baby doesn't really get that much in their system. So, I mean, now if you're going to go out drinking all night, then you better be pumping and dumping. But, I mean, I'll have a glass of wine or I'll have a cocktail and then I nurse her. To me, that's what I do. Maybe some of you think it's horrible, I'm a terrible person, I don't give a shit, whatever.
But we've never been like heavy drinkers anyway, so it's not like you're like having to stop yourself. It's just...
No, yeah, I was just relaxed with a glass of wine or a margarita or something, and that's what I did with Isabel, and that's what I'm going to do with Mia, and we have some beautiful, healthy girls. Okay, so I'm going to end with this question, because I think this is, like, really going to help tie up everything, and I think it's one of the most important things, because I know the fear and the concern whenever... It's still a worry, even now as a second-time mom, breastfeeding for the second time. But this question is it normal to feel like your baby isn't satisfied for 2 hours after feeding when they're first born? So I think what she's asking is sometimes, like with those clustering sessions, they can be eating for 2, 3, even 4 hours sometimes, and they don't want to get off of your breast, and it can feel very scary. But the thing is a lot of it is, one, they're trying to increase your milk supply, but two, they're also pacifying themselves, because when they're first born, all they know is you. They know your smell. That's another crazy thing too that I learned recently, is that your nipples actually smell exactly like the amniotic fluid inside of your uterus, which is a reason why babies are so naturally drawn to latching onto your nipple, and why they want to stay on your nipple and stay on your breasts, because it smells like their home, like the only home that they've ever known.
Yeah.
And they can hear your heartbeat. So a lot of it's about comfort too, and you have to think, I know it can be really overwhelming. You can feel scared like they're not getting enough, but they're so tiny and they don't understand anything, like, right? They can't talk, you can't talk to them, you can't tell them anything, and they just came out of you, and from the only home they've ever known, and they just want to be on you. Another huge benefit of that too is, another reason is to help your uterus shrink back down. So your uterus is going to shrink back down even faster, and it's going to help with postpartum bleeding, because every time you do nurse, it causes contractions for your uterus to shrink back down. I mean, it's just, the body's an incredible thing. So it's totally normal to feel like that. Don't give up. And there are so many resources out there now too. So many people out there that lactation consultants and midwives that have their own business where you don't have to go to a hospital. They can even come to your house. You don't have to have insurance. They have affordable rates. And I think it's really important to find somebody like that you trust. So when you are scared or you feel like something's wrong or something's not going right, you can call them, and so you don't give up on breastfeeding, or you don't quit, or anything like that, and everybody is getting what they need. So
We thank you guys for watching. We love you, as always.
Yes, we love you guys, and until next time, bye.